That could have been one way for them to kind of get things going their way. Really good in the counter fights. You'd have a double roar combination on hand as well. The Sky
Is
just
that
provided a lot, but not enough.
what is that
Where?
on the top right corner? What's
It's a
going on
very
there?
unique camera angle, Mike. It's
It
on.
certainly is.
I want to say it's on the desk and the headset's right in front of it. It looks like it's probably the best bet.
Right.
We see a nice little Lilgun whiteboard, of course, right there. No spicy memes like RSG would, although I'm sure RSG will have some memes up later on. We have
Is
the
that-
Lilgun logo, nice and drawn out.
But whose head's bobbing up and down on the left side there?
I am not sure. I am really not sure. I wish I could tell.
All right. Well, a very handsome lad right there from the side of Lilgun. Look at that, Jonathan. Very, very handsome young man. Very, very good to see. Of course, the draft has begun here. The Enigma Marcy opening is what Lilgun go for. Undying is the first pickup of Talon. No surprises there. Undying an extremely strong pick in the current meta. No doubt they wanted to go back for that, of course. On the side of Talon, John, I might add as well, KP's been smiling a hell of a lot today, which I'm very happy to see about. Very rare to see the KP smile, as I know from personal experience, considering the unfortunate experience of having to have a photo with KP where he was not smiling. But look at that. He's got a great smile, this guy. He's a shy boy. For anyone that doesn't know KP, he's a shy guy. He doesn't like to smile in photos. He doesn't think he has a nice smile. I think he has a beautiful smile. He's breathtaking, this man. Love KP.
Yeah, he definitely does have a breathtaking smile. To be fair, he's been much more outgoing. You remember that night we spent with X Boom ID, with Hyde Mikado, Dreamocell, and FBZ. I mean, he was very outgoing there. He guided us through Mafia. He guided us through a couple of weird, fun games. We had a good time in the team room as well. Just fun hanging out with KP. He's a chill guy, and it's nice to see him being extra chill now with the Talon voice. Hopefully those smiles keep up. If Lilgun have a good game, sure, game faces will come out much more serious. And Lilgun is still a tough opponent with the draft on hand. They've taken Enigma Marcy already on the Lilgun's end. I like the response from Talon with the Bristleback. You've got good AoE clear, plays nicely with the Undying as well. So kind of like that early combination we saw from Lilgun with Ember Undying. You can soften up targets, makes every stack of Quilt Spray that much more potent here for Talon's end. And of course you can clear out the Eidolons really nicely. I think for Lilgun now, they're gonna have to make a couple of choices. How much do you really want to protect this first phase Enigma? Like they ban out the Beastmaster, one really good way of handling Enigma's Black Hole with a Roar, and good counter push there as well. There's still an option for something like Q's Rubik is gonna be pretty damn good. You've got the Marcy and the Enigma to steal from, so really big spells for Q to kind of play around here if he wanted to take his Rubik, which we know he excels on as well. And because they have to protect the Enigma with those kinds of bans potentially coming out, it does feel like you have a lot more room here for the KP hero, for the Mikado hero on mid. There's a lot more in that second phase you can get done with those bans.
Absolutely. We'll see where they do end up heading. One more ban to come out here for the side of Lilgun before we do get to continue. It's currently banning off offlaners, it seems like. It's focusing on the KP heroes, making sure he doesn't have a good time.
10 seconds remaining.
Still thinking about it.
5 seconds remaining.
7 seconds left here before they start diving into that reserve time. They'll dive into it. Just really, really thinking heavily about this. I guess you're just thinking about all the Enigma counters, right? Like the Beastmaster, the Vengeful Spirit both being banned out. Is there another, even the Batrider was banned, is there another hero you think that just makes the
Rubik?
Enigma's life a living hell? Rubik, yeah, you pointed
is the
that
big
one out.
What else from other positions? Not too many. Silencer, perhaps, although Silencer is just kind of dead in the water. Although it could still fit in here for Talon, and it also kind of protects the Bristleback pick, not having to worry about that curse in the middle of these fights. It's on your side. So that could also be one way. You can... Warlock's probably not an option because you're running Undying 5 here for Hyde more than likely. So probably just a Silencer, and they do opt instead to ban out Mikado's Ember, which he does perform on to a very high level. He's carried a lot of games for Talon with that hero. Wonder what else they pick up. There's still a lot of counters here from the pause 4 for Talon onto the Enigma, and even from mainly pause 4. I'm surprised they go back for the Sky. Like, they go back into Sky Rat. they don't have a clear combination for that yet. They don't have anything like the Roar to kind of tie in with a Mystic Flare. They've got Black Hole Mystic Flare, which honestly isn't that amazing, but Ancient Seal does amp up the damage of Black Hole now because it's magical, so that can feel pretty good. People stuck in the Midnight Pulse will take a lot more damage because again it's magic damage now, so it fits in. You have a little bit more jump on the support end with Marcy, of course. You've got Enigma, Blink Black Hole, so there's a lot more play here for Lilgun. I'm just surprised to go back to it because it just feels like past the laning phase and past the early parts of the mid game, we didn't see that much impact out from the sky. Once you had like Manta styles, once you had BKBs, the hero really just tapers off.
It certainly does, and there's that Rubik you talked about, John. You called it. Q, he does indeed play a very mean Rubik, and it does come out. Speaking of Q, Jonathan, is that a mustache I see, Gron?
Yeah.
Get your hands away from that face, Q.
There you go.
Hey, oh, look at that.
It's an interesting look. I don't know. He's just so baby-faced that I don't know if it works all too well. It makes him look a bit more mature, but to me he looks like a 16-year-old schoolboy still. You know, that teenage phase where you're trying to grow facial hair.
I've seen this before.
He's
the uncle. He's the uncle at the barbecue, Jonathan. That's what he is. He's the uncle at the barbecue that drank too much beer, and he just in an hour or so he'll just start laughing at everything. He's that guy. I love that. That's my favorite guy at the barbecue. That's the guy you want to be around until he has even more to drink, and you know things start getting a little bit silly. But for now, he's sober. He's happy.
I forget how much you guys in Australia drink. Your blood is just alcohol. You know, I don't know how you check for people on the road. You do an alcohol test, your standard baseline is already just drunk.
You don't even pull out the breathalyzer, John. You pull them over, you hand them a fine, you let them go on their way. Off you go.
Oh, this is an interesting twist. Dazzle coming out. So are we seeing a Core Undying or a Core Dazzle? I mean, KP's done Core Dazzle. I'd hope for the Undying. But this is not what I expected out from Talon. Like, Core Dazzle used to be a thing when you used to go Necronomicon. You know, when your ult used to provide that cooldown naturally on items, right? You'd push down, run down. I mean, the minus armor synergy with Bristleback does make sense. And say, if that is a high Dazzle with a Bristleback, that's a pretty damn good lane. Poison Touch, Quill Stacks, and Nasal Goo, slow down someone down, you just run them down. Very annoying lane for 11 to deal with. It's also kind of a good answer to the TA with Shallow Graves. You can prevent someone from being bursted down, but I'm not sure about the Core Undying. Look, we've been talking about Undying being buffed up. Now maybe this is time to show us the Core Undying power here for KP. There's a very low chance of Mikado mid Rubik, but I don't think that's something that... Trying to think, did we ever see that in Boom ID? I don't think so. So it should just be a Mikado last pick. Yeah, Core Undying.
Yeah. Why not? I mean, that's kind of fun. Like, the question I have, like, it must be offlane Undying, right? Like, there's no chance they run the POS 1. Because that, if you were to ask me, that's what I really want. I really want POS 1.
Yeah, and we saw that a little bit in earlier DPC tours, right? The POS 1 Undying, I believe that was Palos or Natsumi kind of playing that. And it did look impressive. You go for the Shard, Echo Saber, run heroes down with your ultimate, your Flash Golem up, just stack the zombies. And with the upgrades you get now to Decay, it's a lot easier to kind of snowball to that point. But I feel like Undying still has this really good early to mid that you don't really need that farm priority. So the offlane is likely what we're going to see for KP. The mid hero here, down the line for Mikado is still fairly open. I like that Lilgun does respect ban the Pangolier. Mikado really set up for them in that last game. I think when you look at Talon's draft, they are lacking lockdown severely. They are relying on some big steals coming out from Q, which means for the most part, Talon isn't the one that's going to be looking to be aggressive first, right? Like they're not the ones that are going to be jumping in, initiating, forcing these fights because they have nothing to force these fights with unless you find something still left here for Mikado. Maybe, I don't know, picking at the Skyrat, some of these Blink heroes just feels awful. That's why the Pangolier was okay. It can get a little bit durable. Ban the Quap. Puck is still there. Voids into Sky. You can punish early on.
Final pickups to come now. Final picks. Mid lane is still necessary, I believe, for Talon. Something for Makoto
10
here in the mid lane.
seconds remaining.
Unless he wants to make my dreams come true for mid Rubik. I
5
would
seconds
really like to see mid Rubik come out, but I think with a player like Q on your side, you'd rather just give it in the pos 4 role. Wouldn't blame them. Still have a chance to make my dreams come true here, Talon. Final pickup.
There's some weird flex you can do, like mid Bristleback, then you get the core Undying safe lane, last pick a KP hero. And we have seen mid Bristle. I think Mikado has at least played it once in that time when we were seeing mid Tiny. You know, that felt like the counter because of the zero armor. And we'd see a couple of players do that. I think it was the Indonesian mids. They go to Tiny instead, so that should be our Mikado mid. And unfortunately, Mike, no safe lane Undying. KP looked pretty happy about that, though.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's Undying pos 3 is pretty fun if that's going to be what they're running. Like, it's, wait, who's... So Bristleback pos 1, you think? Or Tiny pos 1? Like, who's mid then?
Pos 1, Undying off lane. Visage coming out. Lilgun does get the cheese pick.
Oh, okay.
Visage coming out for 4-2-3, Sanctity on the TA. And to be fair, I think that can come out. This is a specialty of Lilgun. The picks are banned out, you know, the Brood, the Lycan's gone, the TA is what they fall back to. So Sanctity should be able to build up. This is something he's comfy with. You've got really good pacing here from 4-2-3. And this can be pretty tough for the side of Talon, but I feel like if they scale up, this game gets relatively easy to manage. Like, you've got an Undying to buy you early space, Mikado with a quick blink can just kind of search and kind of look for these softer supports. Ace 12 is going to be a very prime target for him. And Q has a fantastic game for the Rubik here. Lots of good spells to steal. Even the Visage, even just taking Familiars can be high utility here for a Q. So I'd lean towards Talon's draft this time around, although you can't really count Lilgun out when they have that Visage and the TA on their side.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing how this game number 2 does go. Of course, Lilgun, they do have their backs against the wall. They need to win this game 2 to try and force to a game 3 in this best of 3 series. Talon, one game away from proceeding to the upper bracket round of 2. Exciting times for them. See if Lilgun can try to force us to a game 3 here. Of course, even if they can't, Jonathan, they get knocked down to the lower bracket, you still have the safety net of the lower bracket. So it's not all done yet for the qualifiers. For whoever does end up losing this series, they do have that safety net. But you'd rather just make the upper bracket run if you can. You'd rather not have to go through the lower bracket if you can avoid it. So we'll see what they can get done here as we are going to head into game number 2 right now. Jonathan, quickly, predictions, please.
For most runes, Talon, last player to be killed. Probably Savage. Highest net worth at the end of the game, Savage. And first player to get 50 last hits. Oh, that's a hard one between Sanctity and Savage, honestly. I will lean Savage. So there you go. All in on Savage. That's 3 Savages. Jeez. Oopsies.
Would you like a side of Talon with your Savage, Jonathan? Jesus Christ. It's all just Talon, Savage, Savage, Savage. Don't ask me any questions. It's just Talon, Savage, Savage, Savage. Those are the answers. Like that guy, you go into a test where they have all multiple choice and you just go A, B, C, D. That's it. That's the answer. I got a 25% chance of being right. 25% chance of being right every time.
Yeah, exactly it. And at some point, this is going to be correct. Or all of them get wrong, and I wouldn't be too surprised. Who knows? This is Lilgun under specials. This is Sanctity on his TA. He farms like a madman, plays like a madman, and he should be able to carry the weight of the team this time, be that hardcore for the lineup. We'll have to see if they get that space, though.
All right, here we go. Talon. Rebound, very nice from Kish. He'll take the banner in on the bottom side. It's still going to be a 2 for 2, though. Talon just wanting to try and sneak an extra one away. Not going to be able to get away with it. They won't mind too much, though. A 2 for 2 trade on the bounty runes. Let's start with our favorite, of course, the mid lane. Sanctity going to be there on that mid TA. Obviously, a fantastic TA player. He's going to be up against Makoto on the Tiny. Not the easiest matchup for the TA. John, who does win the hero matchup?
I'd say the Tiny has a pretty good time. We've seen Tiny versus TA a couple of times. You just kind of play with a tree grab. You can threaten with Avalanche Toss, but Sanctity does have good presence early. Meld on a zero armor hero just melts him, and Mikado is not enjoying that trade. Sanctity is, not focused on the creep wave, but he's zoning out very well. So that's what Sanctity has to do. Just be a little bit more aggressive before the full avalanche toss is there. And when you know the tree grab's about to fade, just apply that pressure and ensure Mikado doesn't get as much here.
How about those side lanes? How about top lane? Hyde and Ace 12 currently going at it. Supports at the top lane. The ones farming that lane is... Where are the carries? 11. He's in the jungle right now. Where's my pos?
Oh,
one?
no,
We're
not
doing
this again. Not this
Oh, we're doing
again.
this again. Savage is going to run up top now.
Oh.
We'll see the lane switch between him and KP. The supports, they are the cores now, John. These damn cores. Enjoy buying
they've
wards,
got
boys.
wards on each side as well, watching like the triangle areas, so they can see when everyone walks along, so they can always readjust. Oh my God, this is a repeat of what we saw with Extreme, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
that. It's,
Here we go.
and Savage
Here we
actually just
go.
gonna jungle level 1, please? No, he's
Wait
just
a
gonna
minute, look at
stack.
Hyde, he's doing a lot of damage here to Ace 12. Not going to find the kill, but Ace 12 forced to
What
back
is
off.
this?
And yes, Savage is just hanging around the dire jungle and farming. Ladies and gentlemen, do not do this in your pubs. Don't try this at home.
Oh
This is
my
not what you're meant to be doing.
God,
Oh,
why?
he's jungling. Bristleback, my pubs. My pubs.
Why?
It was
And
bad
I
enough
place
with the cavern
Savage.
crawl, man.
I place him as my, you know, highest net worth first last hits, and he's jungling. Savage, my boy, you're out of mana. How are you gonna clear this? One more? Nah, it's not enough. And now Hyde
He's got a clarity.
is a safe lane dazzle. You've got, well, at least KP shows up back bot, but Savage is not having any of that up top. He's just like, if I can get away with this stuff, you bet me your bottom dollar, I'm just gonna farm jungle a bit. He's just walking away now.
He left all the large creeps. Where's Savage going now?
He's
Bottom
going
lane,
bot,
there is a
but there's
fight
still a
breaking out.
ward. They still see
Yeah,
him.
there's still a ward. Q, he'll be chased down. Kishka, not going to be able to find him. 11 is there. Has a TP ready to go up top if he really wants to. Or he could just walk the old-fashioned way. It's up to him. Savage will show up.
No,
There's your
they're
TP's
yeah,
in. They're
they-
switching.
Oh,
Enjoy your
God.
walk back to the jungle, Savage. Enjoy.
What is this game? This is... I feel like this works a lot better for Lilgun. I mean, Savage manages to get a couple of neutral creeps, but Lilgun are just having a better time. Although Savage does clear out the Eidolons. So it's all in all not too bad. And does hit level 2, you're still level 1, 4-2 tree. Yeah, my predictions are not going to be happy unless Savage catches up. To be fair, this is a tough lane for Savage. Like, there's a lot of aggression.
Oh,
And yes.
no. Rebounds there. Kishka's going to find the first blood. You know, on the brighter side, Savage did not commit his TP. So at least he has that. There's no walk of shame. Thing is, where's he TPing to now? Where do you go? Back to top lane?
Top, for sure. Top, you want to be in that Enigma lane, and he is TPing top. KP has a no TP ready, but you don't mind having this Undying walk back. The musical lanes feeling a lot better for the side of Lilgun, although there is a slight net worth lead right now for Talon. I think the difference is just going to boil down to mid, where Sanctity is having a little bit of a better time. Mikado's not too far behind, but the TA is at the point where you're not going to be able to try to burst her down on Mikado's end. And Tiny's timing into Blink just takes a little bit longer compared to TA would say just the Dragonlance. You've got some early presence, so you should feel a lot stronger here on Sanctity, and he should have some room to get that farm up.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, 11's doing a great job here for the predictions, Jonathan. I'll tell you, with those Eidolons being fed back the way of Savage, in terms of that 50 CS, helping us out. 11, not actually spawning up anymore, Eidolons. He's had enough of that, as Savage is really enjoying that bonus golden XP going his way. Like you mentioned, mid lane, a pretty even affair. Makoto is currently in the lead here on the Tiny, so not too much to talk about, just pretty standard between these two mid laners. And no more lane switching, which is going to be a pretty big positive. In the end, I mean, Talon, they won the lane switch, I suppose. You got the matchup you wanted. Unless we see him walk back down bot here on 11, he won't. He's going to chill out.
Yeah, and usually with those musical lanes, the first team to give up on them definitely lose. So it's like a game of reverse chicken, where you just keep going until someone gives up, and that's where it goes south. They are TPing in Kishka, tri-lane here.
They are Savage in big trouble again. Kishka, he'll go for the toss back onto the bristleback, and Savage is going to drop. Big pick up there. Great setup from Kishka. That's a second death already for 23 Savage in this game number 2. Lilgun, they're having a great old time.
Yeah, they're kicking in that aggression. This is something you want to see from their lineup. They do have really good early presence with their supports coming out. You want to see that aggression coming out from Kishka, from Ace 12. And you're starting to get rotations onto mid. Mikado not the healthiest here. Going to be able to secure a double damage rune for Sanctity as well. So a big win on the rune control here for Lilgun. And the side of Talon they don't want to be fully passive. At the same time, they're going to need levels. Like, KP isn't quite ready to just run down. They're probably going to want that Flesh Golem. And running down a Visage is also a very tall order as well.
Q. Disposed now. Kishka really setting up everything across the map, but a lift up. Q wants to try and go for the fight, and 4-2-3 is the one in dangerous. KP will keep going forward. Kishka still trying to deal with the Rubik, but that Tombstone is starting to really pile up those zombies. So Kishka is on the run. KP, no mana available for another decay. He's going to have to let Kishka be. But this time around, the Marcy will not be able to find the kill.
Yeah, they tried to get aggressive. KP just very patient with the Tombstone. Unfortunate that he doesn't quite have the mana to look for that kill. Solar Range is on cooldown, so they are very low on the side of Lilgun. And with the changes to Undying, you don't feel bad about them just trying to regen back, because it will stay in the same proportion. You still have good play. Kishka's still very low and has to launch himself from the shots. And you are really putting a dent on that progression for 4-2-3. He is not able to just freely farm the way he'd want to on the Visage. Early timings are going to be thrown off of it.
Here, nice pickup. Does find Kishka down at the bot lane with the Fade Bolt. Of course, 4-2-3 on the Visage, unable to help him out. We'll just try and survive himself through this lane. Probably happy to survive through it right now as... Oh, props to Savage, John. 46 CS now on the Bristleback. He has caught up very well. He's making it.
Yeah, he's making it. Just 4 more. As long as he doesn't die in the next creep wave or 2, you should be able to find it. Still a lot of poking and prodding coming out. Lilgun just shoving in mid with the double damage from Sanctity. Oh no. It's here to slow that down at least.
He is. TP.
Oh, good toss.
Nice toss back onto Sanctity. My goodness. Hyde saving the day, saving himself. Sanctity's gonna drop. Still goes down to the trap at the very least. But still a massive pickup onto the TA as Makoto. He's even gonna find the Arcane Rune. Happy days for Talon.
Very happy days. And, well, what do you know? Savage hits 50 CS first, somehow. There you go, Mikey. We've got one right, at the least.
Never doubted you, John. Never doubted.
Would look pretty scary. Still, 3-2 start, 1k lead up for Talon. Very slight advantage, but they are getting aggressive mid. Mikado.
Oh, Makoto, he's going to cop a fair bit of damage, but the toss back is there onto the TA, and they can't really finish off the job. No way to hold down the Tiny. He's going to be just fine. 12 now needs to be careful. Makoto trying to move in for a kill attempt. We'll go for the Avalanche toss up, and well, Ace 12 on the Skywrath not going to be very tanky. Meanwhile, bottom lane 4-2-3 in trouble as KP just going to chase him down and take him out by himself.
Sanctity
just needs a tombstone. Meanwhile, mid lane, Sanctity with the toss back again from Makoto is in trouble. Goes for a refraction out. It is not going to help him, but maybe the mill does. No, not quite. With the poison touch slow, he is going nowhere. But down. As Ace 12 does try to rotate to get something, but there's nothing he can do.
Yeah, Hyde. What a Giga Chad in this support. I know the team loves to call Hyde Giga Chad, but he has been showing up mid. Again, it's back to the support of Lilgun. You expect the Sky, you expect the Marcy to really play off the back of that mid, help catapult Sanctity. They haven't been able to do that. They've been tied in the side lanes. So Talon take advantage on mid, enable Mikado to find these key pickoffs on Sanctity, that big win condition of Lilgun. Just going to have a bit of a slower start. And off the back of that, they've just managed to start getting what they want here from those lane swaps. Like, you are seeing Savage number 2 net worth, Mikado number 1, KP right behind the TA, which is not what you want to see from the Undying, but he is farming extremely well here and just already forcing 4-2-3 to also jungle up. So they're not using lanes as well on Lilgun. They're losing out on a lot of farm in those side lanes. They're rotating 3 heroes mid, but they're not committing. It looks like just a bit of a ward run from Ace 12. But they need to find a way to get Sanctity some room to breed, because that TA definitely needs to build up here.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a rough affair these past couple minutes here. Makoto and Hyde doing a really good job of just shutting down Sanctity. Again, with the current map changes as well, you don't have that side camp to go back to try and catch up, so it's going to be all about the jungle now for Sanctity. And Need a bit of time here on this TA to catch his way up, but luckily he does have a couple stacks to take. Meanwhile, top lane's going to be forced in by Lilgun. Savage is going to be around to defend on the Bristle, but they will make the jump in and try to burst him down with the Black Hole, but the Dispose!
What?
Oh,
No.
they threw him out! Oh, no! No, 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 no.
Wait.
Oh, sometimes you're better off not pressing your spells, and that's one of the instances where you are. Toss in, they found 11 on the Enigma. With the Tombstone, he's not going anywhere. He will drop high to take the kill. Even the zombie still chasing Ace 12. Gonna get slowed up, the zombie. It'll keep going, hide. He'll keep chasing, toss in on the tassel,
toss.
hide. What a giga chat. Is he gonna keep going? They are diving, Ace 12. He's alive for now. Poison touch. It's not enough. Ace 12's gonna survive. KP, now the one in danger, will be chased down. Shallow Grave is not up. In fact, it is. Hyde, not gonna use it yet. KP in trouble, but there's your Shallow Grave out. Surviving for now. Disposes there. KP, he'll have the Soul Rip.
Oh
now
my
the Avalanche.
God.
Makoto, gonna hold him down. They are not getting this Undying. KP, he's still running. The Familiars are on the chase now. Another decay, but it's not gonna be enough. He finally drops. Meanwhile, they're onto Q on the Rubik. Dispose out from Q. It won't be enough. He will drop. Oh boy, what a team fight from both these sides.
Yeah, you're fairly happy still on Talon because you forced out the Black Hole. Savage just farms. He doesn't die. You find the kill on the Undying and the Rubik, but it's an Undying. He doesn't mind too much even on the core. They will get room to shove in mid, and that's a big tower to take. No fortify here.
Avalanche is out. No toss back. There are 4 heroes here from Lilgun, so you've got to be cautious. And Lilgun finding a very important mid-tier 1 objective. They do take it. So you want to try and abuse these timings with the Familiars as much as possible. But they will. Still a 2k advantage the way of Talon. But again, just finding that mid-tier 1, the map's going to open up a little bit now for Lilgun, and you are maybe going to be able to infiltrate that dire jungle sooner rather than later.
Yeah, you've got some room now to cut off the farm that Talon wants to build up, and that they've been buying out for Savage here. He's only 2 parts away from the Ags, so not too far off from that spike. Good scan to cut off this aggression from Talon as well. Kishka's going to be able to back off. They might have to surrender this bot tier 1, but it's not the biggest tower to lose now. With the mid and top secured, you've got a good invasion angle here for Logan to take on the top jungle, so you really don't mind losing this bot tower at all.
Yeah, absolutely not. Talon will just go ahead and try to secure. Like you mentioned, Lilgun doesn't really care. They'll just keep their farm going. Pushing out the top tier 2 just a little bit. Force Q to rotate on the Rubik to try and defend that. And Roshan started. I mean, why not? You've got a Visage, you've got a Marcy with the Unleash and the sidekick. Of course, the TA there as well. No Deso up, but just with the Meld Strike alone, it's going to be enough minus armor. There's a very sneaky Roshan play from Lilgun, but they're going to get away with it. Very high value play from Lilgun.
Yeah, they find the first Rosh once more. Talon again, no wards in the area. Lots of wards out from Lilgun to watch that area as well, and really good sentries to just ensure they're not being spotted. You find themselves a big objective. Side of Talon, though, probably don't mind too much. They just get the Blink and Mikado, so now it's the time where they can get really aggressive with his Tiny and start to find some more pickoffs, slow down that game, prevent Sanctity from trying to farm up.
Here we go again. Makoto has a blink up. Kishka is currently being watched, but I don't believe they actually got the vision on him. In fact, never mind, they did. Instead, they're going to try and aim down the higher value target in the Enigma. 11, not going to have a chance to do anything. He gets taken down. Talon finding a nice high value target up that top lane. More time for Savage to keep that farm going on the Bristle, going towards that Aghanim Scepter. I suppose once the Ags is up on the Bristle, that's when Talon want to get moving. And Lilgun, they'll probably be knowing this, of course. You kind of just prep for the Ags to be up, because you know Talon will start rushing at you once it is available.
Yeah, they're definitely just going to look to play on Talon's end. They still have to respect a lot of that burst coming out. Savage isn't the tankiest that he can probably be. Probably wants that BKB to really be secure. But he can now do what he did at minute 0 much safer. Clearing out 2 camps. Gold is going to flow in. That is the Ags. And Lilgun, despite having the H's, are not aggressive.
Nice toss back again. Makoto setting up everything as Ace 12 this time does drop. Very hard against the Tiny with that kind of displacement with the toss back. Makoto proving to be very good so far. 4-0 and 2 is the scoreline for the Tiny. And now the axe is up. Into the mid-tier 1 tower, I believe, is where Talon will try to go.
Yep. They can get aggressive. You can just keep Warpath at max. And with the damage Savage has, it should be relatively easy to rip through that objective. The side of Lilgun, I mean, they can go for the defense. They've got Black Hole ready on 11. He doesn't have it down mid, though. So you're gonna have to try to do this without the Black Hole. And Savage just doesn't really care. With the Vanguard up, he's fairly well protected. He can melt through the Familiars if they stand a bit too long without stunning. Forced to early stun out just to not melt. But now you don't have that nice long-range initiation from the Visage. And he does have a raid pack to slow things down just a tad. But the damage has been done. One more little shove gets that tower.
Sanctity. He's wowing. I don't think he's happy about it, but we'll spam the voice lines a little bit as Talon. They'll move back in. I think they understand. Like, there's just no fighting right now against this Bristle. It's just a little bit too challenging. Leave it be. They'll go up top instead. Maybe find Makoto on this Tiny. Kishka. Not spotting him yet. Talon, they are pincering in. This could be dangerous for Lilgun, but they do have the high ground advantage. But Makoto, he's right in. Ace 12's already gone. Lilgun, they cannot find the Tiny, and in comes Savage. This is not going to be a fun team fight for Lilgun. They'll lose 11. Kishka, he's not safe either. He will drop eventually. There's even 4-2-3 trying to help out on the Visage will drop. It's the power spike of Talon. This is not when you want to fight if you are Lilgun.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to walk into that right now. I mean, there's a lot of AoE control. Not hard stuns, but a lot of slows. With Nasal Goo, with a Tombstone up, and with a Poison Touch down as well. Like, you cannot run. Your blinks get disabled. You're going to be forced to fight. Lilgun needs to be the aggressors, but they're just not comfy just yet with Sanctity having to still work onto that blink. By the time they have the blink timing, they should be set to go, but that's also around the time the Aegis expires. So you won't have that secondary protection. Even if they manage to take the first Roche, if you don't manage to really do much with it, that objective does almost nothing for you. Like, yeah, you got first Roche gold bonus. Nice. What is that? 100 per hero. Not that big. You really need to use that secondary life somehow.
Certainly. There'll be a 4-man smoke up. Lilgun, they'll try to get something done. Keep in mind, they do have the black hole up. It's just very hard to imagine a good black hole when there's a Rubik in the game. Gotta catch that man out. Ace 12 will be slowed up here by the nasal good of Savage, and naturally Makoto's just going to jump in and get the job done. At the very least, Sanctity has pushed out the top tier 2 tower with his new Desolator, so you've got something going for you if you're Lilgun. But, Talon, they'll do the exact same thing down at bot lane. With that, I doubt Talon keep going high ground for now, but I suppose you never know. They are really strong at the moment. If with the Aegis on Lilgun, they may just not care.
I mean, they've got Bristleback Dazzle. Like, you have a lot of leeway to just play aggressively here without caring too much. You have a lot of damage on hand, double damage ready on Mikado here as well. So if you see the angle here, you can just melt them. And we'll shove in a bit, back off, show the respect. But they have chipped away a good amount on that tier 3, and they're still here. They're going back.
Yeah. Well, Savage, he's just got constant resets here from Hyde, and he's even got that occult bracelet, which is like a perfect item on Bristle, because he wants to get hit. So his mana's just constantly going up. He's got constant heals from KP and Hyde, and he's never worried about a black hole because Q's right behind him, waiting with the spell steal. As Kishka almost goes down Makoto, not going to have enough, and the Fade Bolt will not connect. Savage looks to back out now. Tier 3 tower still stands. Lilgun, the thing is, they can't punish. They haven't got the lockdown.
No, they don't even have this blink on 11, which is going to be key. Like, if you do get the black hole and catch the Rubik in, you're kind of set. Now, maybe you worry about the Tiny pre-BKB. Once you have a BKB, Rubik's your only real worry. And that's still a ways off for both of those items on 11. Talon 6k lead up. Still playing forward. They're not backing off from this Radiant side of the river at all.
Kodo, find the TA. Aegis not up anymore, but Sanctity going to be okay. As Kishka, he kind of got baited to jump in there. Kishka, no way out, is going to drop. Savage, he'll take another. In they go. That tier 2 mid tower, and I do love that voice line, by the way. Very, very cheeky, that one.
It is, and we saw Lilgun spamming that out last time. Savage decides to, pay it back a bit, with him spamming it out as well. They could take care of top. You see the circle being drawn here by Savage. They want to take control of the triangle, shove in perhaps that top tier 1, which is still standing. Now work their way towards the BKB of Savage, towards the BKB of Mikato, for really getting overly spicy here. You've got the full Heaven's Halberd up in KP, which is a great way to just cut off the damage from Sanctity or even from Kishka if he's allowed to kind of get a full unleash off. And Lilgun for their part just taking what they can get, but you can see just, again, in how they're playing right now, they're very defensive. And I made this point about Skyrat, but it is not a hero that wants to be defensive. Heck, even a Marcy doesn't want to be defensive. So your supports don't want to kind of be sitting back, but they're forced to because your cores are not ready.
11. Be very careful, sir. Q's on the hunt. The Tumbler's Toy is going to save the Enigma for now. Pings are still out. It looks like Q maybe thinking that 11's TP'd out already. Q does actually have a blink, so he could blink in towards the right side, but he'll be doing it completely blind. Won't waste his time with it. That mid lane, Talon again going to show up, looking for that mid tier 2 tower. Nothing in the way of stopping Savage at the moment. To make matters worse, he's got his BKB recipe on the way as well, so Savage is going to have that magic immunity very soon. No BKB up yet for the TA. Going for a Chrysalis build-up. Farm the BKB now, but is running a little bit low on time as Talon. They might just go high ground with this BKB spike. And they will. Savage on the front. Tombstone dropped preemptively just to make sure they don't even think about the team fight. No blink up yet on the Enigma either. No real good way of jumping in for a black hole. Mid lane, they will commit said black hole. Q, he gets caught out in it. He might just drop and does. No spell still that time around, but Makoto barely surviving. Is KP gonna back off, but 11, he's in big trouble. Savage taking a bit too much damage, will turn his back, try to run, barely survive the shallow grave. He's gonna be out, but Lilgun, they still managed to hold high ground. Yes, it's still a bit of a favorable trade for the side of the Dire, but they did commit a buyback on Q, so in the end, Lilgun, they should be happy.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake out from Talon, like Q walking into the black hole, maybe trying to get that spell steal range, but didn't quite have enough reach, walked in instead, and that kind of ruined that fight for the side of Talon. They still find better trade. You did lose 2 supports for an offlane and support, so you're still sort of happy, but you didn't manage to take the objectives. You didn't manage to clear out any tower. Tier 3 still fairly healthy, or at least it's still standing here from the side of Lilgun. However, he forced out Black Hole, and now Rosh is up. So now Lilgun's angle for taking Roshan is also very awkward. They don't have the protection for big teamfight spell, and Talon might just go for it.
They may. Savage. Show up with the Roshan to scout it out. Arcane Rune. Oh boy, Kishka. Trying to blink in. We'll be able to rebound out. I say blink in, he just kind of ran in there for the Arcane. Savage will just continue chasing him down, but sees the TA and doesn't want to go too much further. The TA is hitting very hard right now. Savage. Gotta be careful, it's a lot of damage being dealt. 11, meanwhile, he'll have to just run as Makoto chasing down Kishka instead. Meanwhile, towards the north, they're onto KP on the Undying. Shallow Grave is gonna buy a bit of time. KP, he gets the Tombstone off in time, but they're dropping low Talon. They might need to back off. Savage, he gets caught out with the familiar stun. Force the BKB up and run. Is barely gonna make it. Meanwhile, Kishka finally goes down to Makoto, but it's gonna cost his own life with the Shallow Grave. It buys a bit more time, but Makoto has no way out of this. He will go down. And Lilgun, it seems like they're on their way to a comeback. Onto the Roshan they go.
And this is a big objective to take. They've managed to take that team fight without the threat of Black Hole. They're going to have Black Hole off the back of this Roshan. Roshan number 2 with the Aegis Shard. Talon just kind of going a bit too forward. They're not that tanky yet in Savage. He just gets his plate mail now. This is when he can kind of cop through the TA's hits, but not in that last fight. He needed that bonus armor. Even with his back turned, it's a lot to melt through him. Game evens out 9-18. 2K lead still stands for Talon, but Sanctity's number 1 in net worth now off the back of those pickoffs. He's going on to the Silver Edge. They're going to have a break source to deal with Savage. And the side of Talon has to really be cautious. They have to understand that this is the Sanctity TA. This is a guy who knows his TA in and out. He's had a slower game, but he's caught up. And they've got this team fight potential coming out from Lilgun. They've got the blink up on 11. He can get the angles for some better black holes. Really needs the BKB to be safe, but once that combo is up, you're really just reliant on Q to kind of cover all your bases, and it's easier said than done. Although he does have the full Aether Lens up, so probably just a tad bit easier now to grab something like the black hole.
Mid lane, both sides hanging around. Lilgun, they are waiting patiently as KP does reveal himself on the Undying. Smoke up, Lilgun, they know how powerful they are right now. Rebounds in, Kishka, he found that pulse 3 Undying. KP will drop the Tombstone and Flesh Golem right in onto the Marcy. They might just have Kishka down as KP is able to get up at 11. He gets that black hole, but it's stolen. Q's got one himself. He'll pop it immediately on the high ground. It has caught out 11 there for a moment as 11. He will drop. No buyback on the Enigma. Meanwhile, Makoto still going. Has a toss. Rather blink back up in a second, but is not going to bother. His team wants the reset. Still hanging around though, Talon making their way back in through the mid lane from the Dire side. KP does show up. Sanctity. No blink up. Can't make his way in, but instead tries for Makoto. BKB is there on the Tiny. So no follow-up on that Tiny. He's going to be okay to back himself out. You've just got to be so careful as 11. That black hole usage from Q, not the greatest anyway. He just tries to use it to cancel the opposing black hole off. But the thing is, he's probably going to have it off cooldown before it expires anyway, so you might have one more use out of it.
You've got a big turn opportunity for Talon in the next few fights. You still protect Sanctity, you protect his Aegis. Doesn't have to kind of expend it there. Still has an 8-second BKB charge as well. So, things not as dire as it may seem. You don't lose the biggest heroes. But the side of Talon, I think they're 9-20 right now, 5k up. Lilgun are still kind of a team that needs to work their way back into this game. And they'll try to find it. And Talon just farming up as well. They do have really good scaling down the line. You can kind of shift onto Mikado as a bit of a core now, a bit more of a right-click core as we approach this part of the game. And he is working towards the Ag, so we're going to get the tree volley action if Mikado does find a farm. Mike, going to be very nice to see.
Oh, I heckin' love tree volley, John. You know me, I'm a real sicko for this kind of stuff. See how that one pans out. It's always fun, right? Like you get your avalanche toss off, you've got nothing else to do. I'll just toss some trees at them. And it does do a hell of a lot. Like, the scaling on it's kind of ridiculous. So if you end up picking up, like, a Daedalus after that, the damage output, it does become rather high for the side of Talon. Still, Lilgun. They're going to start pushing down through the bot lane. A tier 1 tower, not going to last very long. It's gone. Talon, they'll do the same up the top lane. That'll go as well. Both sides trying for the opposing tier 2 towers. Looks like they will just go for the direct trades on those tier 2s. Glyph will be forced out here from the Dire and the Radiant side of things. Get away with it. Lilgun, they don't seem to be wanting to back off. Still a minute on the Aegis. They want to try and make some use out of it. They'll go onto the tier 3 tower. Force the defense out from Talon. In come the rotation. The tier 3 is dropping rather low rather quickly. Sanctity still has that Aegis up. We'll go for the racks now. Very, very brief, but does back off again. So they force Talon to back off and get back to the base and just try to defend. And I think that's going to be enough for Lilgun. It's going to buy plenty of space in the map for them to keep that farm going.
Yeah, they've got room to just clear out. And they've still got, well, they even out the map control, actually. Kind of a parallel. Bot tier 3 gone for both sides. Mid tier 2, the last outer towers for both sides as well. Talon still slightly ahead, but Sanctity is becoming a massive issue. Going for the MKB next, full Silver Edge up. Break mechanic onto the Bristle. Not going to feel great for Savage. He is working onto the Halberd, and he does have the goal to buy it out. Not going to have buyback, though. But he does have a good amount of armor now. Blast Rig, along with the Plate Mail. Going to feel good. Aegis expiring. Can be a little bit of a risk for Lilgun. If Talon does manage to find a good angle here, it can easily turn their way. Black Hole will fade on the spell steal, though. So Q's not going to have that option in the next few fights, but they will go for the smoke play.
Yeah. We go. Talon, 5-man smoke. Lilgun, they are in the mid lane. Sanctity, he could be a massive target, but They won't be able to catch him yet. Regen Rune going to be spotted here by Talon, but they don't want to reveal their position. They'll leave it be. Ace 12, he's the closest target to make the jump on. Savage will spot him out. Smoke is broken, they'll rush in. 4-star Ray from Ace 12, so he's going to be okay for now. Instead, they'll try to focus down some familiars of Sanctity. He's already found Q on the Rubik. There goes your Black Hole, and now Sanctity in 11. They jump in, but the Black Hole's cancelled off immediately. 11's gone. Ace 12 is in trouble. Makoto will take him down. Buybacks are incoming. Q and 11 both buying back to try and return to this team fight as Kishka. He'll try to fight back. KP's dropping low. Shallow grave. He'll be fine. Kishka, he's the one to drop us 4-2-3. He'll keep fighting. Makoto, he pops his BKB as 4-2-3 now. He's the one in danger. In that stone form, he is not going to last long. They'll lift him up, drag him back. The bird slowly getting cooked by the side of Talon as the Avalanche will get it done. 23 Savage. He's on a godlike spree now. 3 down for Lilgun, and that opens up high ground, John. There's no buybacks.
No buybacks, no Black Hole to hold him off, and Talon have a lot of room to get in there. This is a bit funny. I want you to look at Q. He stole Gravekeepers because of the active on Visage, but he doesn't have the eggs. So he casually has Gravekeepers. I've never seen that. I didn't think that could be an interaction, but it is. It's Dota2. They can't quite high ground on Talon though. They respect the output of Sanctity and they back off, needing a bit of a reset themselves. A little bit of a very back and forth fight does work itself in Talon's favor. Losing Q, having him to have to buy back once more is stalling out his timings on the route very much so, but they managed to make it work. Like if that Black Hole was a little bit longer from 11, you might have been able to connect there with Sanctity and clean up, but it just doesn't present itself that way.
Certainly doesn't. It's not an easy game for a Black Hole. On the brighter side, 11's very close to a BKB now, and that might be the game changer. It seems like they need something of the sort to protect him from the counters that are there from Talon. Just so much impact with the Black Hole. Just need to be able to channel it. Speaking of impact, Sanctity basically putting the team on his back this game, number 2. Going towards an MKB now. Just even more damage to fly out. Not that he was really lacking damage, but why not have more?
Yeah, just have more in, just go all in. He's your big scaling hero after all. So it's kind of expected for Sanctity to kind of just stack up as much as he can. I like the route everyone else is taking. 4-2-3 is just going for durability. Rate Pack's been up for a while, but he's going straight into the AC, into the Boots of Bearing, so it can be the aura hero for the team. And well, 11's the one with the roughest game. He's still trying to go onto the BKB. Should have it eventually. That could be the opening, although.
Jump in. They found Kishka. Avalanche is there. Lock him down, take him out. Makoto will take the kill. No buyback available on Kishka. He's down for 40. D3 tower now, under siege. Keep in mind, they've got 2 Heaven Tower birds. One on Savage and one on KP. That 20% evasion going to be kind of annoying for the TA to try and deal with. Hence why Sanctity is going towards that MKB build-up, but doesn't have it up yet. We go again. Avalanche is there. Makoto. He's going to find Ace 12 on the Skywrath mates. It's a second down without buyback. 3 versus 5 situation. 11 barely escaping the grasp of Talon. The Savage continue working on toward that top racks. Lilgun just trying to buy a bit more time for their supports to be back up and available. A lot of damage with the side blades out from Sanctity. So Savage, he will pay his respects and back off once again. Very annoying with the silver edge of Sanctity as well, just constantly breaking the bristle. But they do have a Roshan to play for on the side of Talon, and they've got a double damage rune just sitting there waiting for them once again.
Yep. Perfect timing once more for the Rosh. It feels like as long as we're casting, Mike, that combination never goes away. So it's fit to go smoke out. Lilgun, they still have Black Hole. They've got a really good angle. Fresh BKB up as well. It's a lot harder to cancel here from 11. Q's got to be on point with this Rubik.
Can they get there in time? Roshan dropping low. Lilgun, they are going to be around. Talon, they'll leave the area. Savage, he's still got that double damage, so he's happy to fight, but they don't know about the BKB Black Hole yet. 11
Sanctity
trying to move in. Sanctity, he's in big trouble. Where's that Black Hole? It's not coming out yet. Sanctity, he'll try and fight through all of this just with the BKB alone. And the Silver Edge, he will run. Meanwhile, Savage, right onto 4-2-3 on that Visage. He wants the bird gone, and he will have him gone, though never mind. Stoneform is there just in the nick of time as Hyde, trying to deal with Kishka on the Marcy, but BKB is there. there from Kishka. He'll fight back Hyde. He's got the shallow grave. He'll buy himself a bit more time. Meanwhile, still 11. Not popping the BKB yet. Not popping the black hole yet. Hyde somehow denies himself off to the Roshan. Where's this black hole? It's still not out yet. He's popped the BKB, but the ulti has not been committed. 4-2-3 does end up dropping Talon. They love this delayed team fight. As Sanctity needs to get out of there. He'll blink towards the right side, but KP's on the chase. He finds the TA, but can he deal with him? The Halberd is out. The TA needs to run. It's 3 down again for the side of Lilgun. And Roshan is open. Where was the black hole?
He was just so scared. I think they're so scared of Q stealing it again. And they know how easy it is for Q. They know he has a lot of reach. So they have to play it super safe. Q was pretty far from that fight though. And he had some good angles that could have presented itself there from 11, but they don't take it. Roche going the way. They could try for a deny play with the familiars. Are they? No. Everything going the way of Savage, picking them up right in time. And does pass some free ags for Q.
Oh,
Can you believe that?
I love that. Hardly ever see that from our calls, but there you go. A bit of teamwork here. Though Q has not ate the ags yet, so we don't know if he's going to keep it.
No, don't give it to Mikado. No, don't give it to Cape. No. Well, we have ags on Undying. 8 strength steal is pretty good as an Undying fan, so not the worst thing in the world, but you know, 2 spells would have been nice. Q can show off a lot more.
Yeah, we spoke too soon, John. I thought the calls were being nice for once, their supports, but never.
Hey,
Never.
You're the one who said Damien was a good guy, huh?
Yeah,
he is a good guy.
Not good enough to give the axe away, at least. KP will have his, 8 strength steal. It is very nice, like in the middle of a team fight and a 4-second cooldown. In fact, level 20 Talon, if he wants to go for the -2 second decay cooldown, that's going to be a lot of strength stolen.
Oh yeah, like way more. I think with the upgrade to Ags, it feels like the upgrade to Decay. It felt like with old Decay, you can never actually maximize that level 20 talent because the cast point just felt so iffy. With the buff, like the Ags just become so much better as well. So that durability, the prolonged fights you pointed out in the last one, Mike, KP is gonna massively enjoy it. And Lilgun, they're doing as best they can. Look at this massive creep wave up top. They're just split pushing like madmen. They're gonna force Talon to go home, force a response out, get some good chip damage in the process, and Talon gonna have to go with a man down here.
They won't go high ground yet. They're still defending the top lane as well. Like, Lilgun are doing a fantastic job of just keeping all the lanes pushed out. It's the way you buy time and try to make a comeback happen. Sanctity's still top of the net worth board. Like, this guy's an absolute monster. He just needs some lockdown from his team. If you can get one good black hole this game, he's gonna tear through them. The damage is not the problem. Savage, they might have their chance now, because Savage is thinking about going high ground. They'll pop a 5-man smoke. They're not going to make it easy for Lilgun. Savage, he'll get stunned up. Kishka with the tossback. KP, he'll make the jump in. Drops the tombstone. Gets the flesh golem out. Ogre still totem away. Kishka, he'll take down the undying tombstone. So you don't have that up and available anymore. Savage, very, very low. Might just waste his Aegis. He does also hold cheese though. Also has Hyde right behind him, healing him up constantly. There's your cheese being taken by Savage. He's got the reset now. Makoto, that's a great toss back. He finds a TA, but Sanctity. Immediate blink out. Instead they'll find Kishka. As the TA still going to be able to escape. Savage still moving in, trying to get some damage off. On that bristle, might just drop the first time, but somehow still alive. He's a tanky boy. Hyde just so patient as Makoto. In again on the tiny Sanctity, but the black hole, it's out from 11. Q stolen, however. He takes it onto the Visage. It's only going to be a 1Q. He will drop at Sanctity. He gets caught anyway. He'll buy back. On the TA is Savage. He'll drop his first life. That's the Aegis down. KP trying to slow them up with the Shiver's Guard. Savage trying to find a way out. We'll go out of there as Makoto. He's back in. He found 11 on the Enigma, but there's a buyback. Once again, Lilgun, they are not letting these bot racks go down. Talon, they will have to retreat and reset. Or do they? Makoto. He's thinking about going back in. There's a big smoke, though. This could be painful.
That should help.
But he will back off at the right moment.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Really good saves coming out from high there. Like that shallow grave to buy Savage a little bit more time in the black hole. Q managing to steal it, but doesn't manage to use it to stop that channel. Kind of gives that opening up to Lilgun to get a little bit more out of it. Talon are still in a better position, although they did buy back into heroes, but they've got a little bit more room. 20k net worth lead now up on them. All in on Sanctity here for Lilgun. They do manage to drop some really good deep wards, so they've got pretty good idea as to when Talon will walk around, and they've got some security around a Roche, but a smoke out from Talon here.
Talon smoked up again. Oh, 11. Eidolon's out. He was within the smoke. It doesn't break. Lane, here we go again. Savage gets the Warcry. Warpath stacks up. Currently has about 700 damage. Very nice on the Bristleback. Will definitely help him take that bot racks down, no problem. T3 tower in the mid lane now under siege. They've got the bot racks. Not many buybacks available here for Lilgun.
Savage, he has mangoes in the backpack, 2 stacks, just eating through him.
Jump in, Kishka, he's there. 2-man stun is out with the rebound. It's not going to be enough though to set up as they turn right back around onto the Marcy and take him down. He does have buyback. Back onto the mid racks they go. Talon. They're not done yet. KB has 48 stolen strength at the moment with that decay. He is a big, big boy. Savage, he'll keep going. Midrack's almost down. They're trying. Rebound is in. Kishka off the mark. The Midrax, 1 hit away. Still not down yet as they do jump in with 11. What's he trying to do here though? BKB is out. He's got no black hole available and he's gone. Oh, he was too early. That's him without buyback. No black hole up.
Yeah, he was too early, and he didn't have mana for the black hole BKB anyway. He was so far forward, but he didn't have enough. He only had enough for a wand. If he popped this wand, and even that, I don't think that's the combo of BKB black hole. Maybe would have been enough. Very on edge. Risky plays from Lilgun. Talon with 2 racks is up, 1 rack's left. Tier 3 already gone. They have to equalize top though, but they will have mid, and even mid and bot aren't quite shoved into their favor. So Lilgun managing to buy themselves some time, but the lead just grows for Talon. 12 to 35. Divine Rapier time for Sanctity. The all-in play is here. His courier is hidden. So we'll see if he manages to get that opening, but Divine with 2 halberds up, it does feel like as long as they disarm him, they could still kill him off and take that away.
It feels that way, John. It's been a hard game for Sanctity. Let's see what they can get done here. This will be the last team fight. If they can't win this one out, the game is over. Savage, he's going to move in. They'll stun him up. Try to slow him down as much as they can as KP. Will get in with the tombstone as well. They want the megas up. They're very close to getting it. Kishka, he'll jump in with the rebound. Onto the bristleback, but he gets deleted by Savage. That'll be megas. Megas now up. Savage, he's not done yet. They're on to Sanctity. They've got the TA. The Divine's on the deck. This game's over. GG's called. Lilgun, they try their absolute best in this upper bracket round of 1, but they do get knocked down right to the lower bracket round of 2. As Talon proving to be way too strong today, they will take the 2-0 victory here against Lilgun. And my God, do they do it in style, John. They look fantastic.